Hey everybody. So I wanted to come on here and just once again just rant on this whole bus situation. I know I did a live stream yesterday and I talked about it, and honestly it's no real surprise that this is an issue right now. I mean, it's not much of an issue. I think it just depends on, who's driving that route. Because normally, the people driving would try to at least get there in plenty of time. Well, today, I know it's Veterans Day, and happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there who have served our country. Thank you very much for doing so, including my dad and my nephew, my oldest nephew. But it seems that, Veterans Day, or any, holiday, federal, but not major holiday like upcoming Thanksgiving and stuff, should be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue at all. Basically, the drivers, they know they got to work that day, should make the effort to try to get to work, try to get to the routes on time. I understand sometimes you got to deal with, traffic and stuff. I get that. I understand that. I get that. All right? I really do. Sometimes you have to deal with that, and it could be a nuisance. There is no getting around that, but still, you've been doing this for quite some time. You should be able, in my opinion, should be able to figure out how to get to your route, basically your stops on your route in plenty of time. You shouldn't have to worry about rushing or anything. But today, it seems like that's what they were kind of doing. They were rushing a little bit, not too much, but they were rushing just enough. And I get it, sometimes you fall behind and all that, but legitimately today, the same bus that was picked me up yesterday on time, the same bus, basically, long story short, was 15 minutes late. They were 15 minutes late, and they shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been late at all. If anything, they should have been on time. Yes, they picked up a few people, and that's fine. That's great. And I, like I've mentioned before, I get sometimes, the passengers, they'll take a while to, get their change out to add up to $2 or $1.50, or it takes time depending on the service to upload the token transit ticket and show the person, yeah, I've got this for today. It's valid for all day. I understand all that. But still, it shouldn't. But still, that should not deter the bus drivers, in my opinion, from, like I said, doing their job. It shouldn't deter them. If anything, it should motivate them to, get to the next stop a lot faster. And I understand too. Look, sometimes you're going to encounter trucks, like I encountered yesterday, farming equipment, farming vehicles like a tractor, till milling tractor, whatever you want to call it. I understand you're going to deal with all that. You're going to deal with all that. There's no getting around it, okay? There's no getting around it. And I firmly believe it doesn't matter where you live in this country or this world. If you live in a semi-major, metropolitan region, if you will, metropolitan region, if you live in those kind of areas, you need to basically make sure that the farmers, the people that provide stuff for us and everything, have their own road, or at least have a little bit more space on the road to where it's not like, they're slowing people down, because honest to God, they are. they are slowing people down, and it's hurting people. It's hurting people in the long run. And that shouldn't be an issue. That shouldn't be an issue at all, because people should be able, in my opinion, people who are driving the buses or driving their own vehicles should be able to get to their destinations on time. You know, so, you know, people need to, a lot of people have to speak up. But today that wasn't the case. I don't know if it was because I wasn't there when the driver was coming from Gustine. But still, that shouldn't have been the case. Yeah, the buses get behind some big trucks and everything, you know, that are carrying loads of equipment or whatever. I get that. I get you get behind those kind of things, but still, it's like, you know, it shouldn't have mattered, basically. You know, you need to find a way to work around that. And that's the fact. And that's a fact. But today, for some odd reason, the driver was 15 minutes late. Now, I don't know if maybe because there was a parade going on in Gustine for Veterans Day or what. Because I know when I was waiting in Patterson, every year they have this little memorial service, a little bit commemorative service and memorial service for the veterans that are still here and the veterans who have passed. You know, so I get that. I understand that. But, you know, even so, they should let people know. They should let people know that, hey, we might be a little late. I'm going to contact the driver you're supposed to go on with the next bus if we got a transfer. And true, the guy did that today, but the guy that did the 45E didn't answer. Yeah, the person that did the 45E did not answer. And I'm thinking, why in the hell would you not answer? Are you so, you know, out on a loop? Basically, are you so out on a loop that you can't answer when somebody's calling you? I mean, and here's a detriment to that guy that on the 45E side of things when he didn't answer. Headquarters, the StanRTA. The StanRTA headquarters listens in on these things. They listen in. They hear what's going on. They know what's going on. And you can't tell me they ain't going to contact this guy when they see him, pull him into the office and say, hey, why didn't you answer 45 West when they called you? And, you know, when they call you to let you know, hey, they got passengers for you. Why didn't you answer? You know, and the thing's going to be, you know, what's his, you know, and the question the question they're going to wonder is, what's going to be his excuse? What's going to be his reasoning? And honestly, there's going to be no excuse. There's going to be no true reasoning. Because what's going to be pointed out is they're going to look at him and they're going to say, you're only here for the money, aren't you? You don't care about driving the bus that much. You're only here for the money. And look, I get it. Having a job to earn money and everything's great. But if you're only here for the money, that doesn't make you look good or anybody else look good. Period. You know, it doesn't. It doesn't make you look good or anybody else look good. And the thing is, like I said, you know, headquarters, the StanRTA headquarters, had to be listening in on that. They had to be listening in on that conversation, on that radio call. And the fact that the guy didn't listen, the guy didn't hear him, that to me hurts the individual more, you know, the individual that left without waiting, that hurts them more than it's going to hurt anybody else. Because now what's going to happen is they're going to get a talking to. They're going to get a talking to in the office, and they're going to be told, hey, you better get your act together, or else you may not have a bus license to drive with anymore. You know, they need to get their act together. They do. And, you know, for the fact that this being the second day in a row this has happened, you know, it pisses me off. It pisses me off. I mean, I expect better from them, and I thought they were getting better. But obviously they still have a few issues they have to address. They really do. They have a few issues they have to address. And that's not good. That's not good in my opinion. The only silver lining I will finally give credit for is, unlike yesterday and on Halloween night, at least I was finally able to get a driver to come down and get me. Yeah, I was finally able to get a driver to come down and get me. And combined with what I spent just now, and that, which is about 30, and then what I spent just now being about almost 180 altogether, yeah, I'll still be fine and everything, just barely, but it's like, seriously, you know, I shouldn't have had to do what I did. I shouldn't have had to call Lyft. I shouldn't have had to book Lyft if the driver of 45E would have at least followed the rules and at least waited, or at least answered his walkie, his what is it that they call it, the B40 radio or whatever. You know, he should have at least answered that and been like, okay, I'll wait a few more minutes, because we weren't that far away, but yet he did. So yeah, bus systems like StanRTA and others around this country, they need to get their act together when it comes to this kind of stuff. Make sure everybody is on the same page. Make sure everybody's on the same page, and make sure they alert, even through the apps they utilize, make sure they alert those that want to wait for the bus to make them see that, oh, there's going to be a delay because of such and such. That's what needs to happen. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and I will talk to y'all later. I do apologize for a lot of the noise, but let me know what your thoughts are, and I'm out.